Hi. Just gonna give a few minutes so people can join. So I wanted to come on here today and I wanted to talk about energy readings because I feel like there is so much information that needs to be clarified about energy readings and kind of how I got into this and pretty much go from there. So I'm just going to start talking. If you have any questions, you can ask it in the comment box and I will answer it as we go along. So let's begin. So the first question is, what does energy readings even mean and what does it tell you? It basically means that I'm able to read the energy of the past, the present, and the future. So the past and the present are the easiest things to read because the energy in the past has already happened, right? It's already formed, so you can't change it. The energy in the present is somewhat easy to read because it's happening as the reading's going along, and it is available to change. Like the energy in the present can change depending on free will, as well as the future energy is somewhat difficult to read because future energy can also change because people have free will. So for me, it's easiest to read the past and the present, and the future is sometimes challenging because the future energy can change based on a person's free will or the party that you're looking into. It can also change because of that. Their free will can change, right? So then that change and alters stuff in your life. So how does energy readings work? I use divination tools. I use oracle cards and I use tarot cards and I basically channel as well, or I use one of the 5 clairs. I have all 5 clairs and all my abilities are basically online. So it's pretty easy for me to do an energy reading using a combination of energy tools and using my own abilities. Like I've told you guys before, and what you know, I had a spiritual awakening while I was in law school, and it was almost instantaneous that I just got all of my abilities back and was able to basically predict things. I started predicting things and they started coming true, and from there, it just took off and I started having clients worldwide. So that's pretty much how it started for me. So I basically use divination tools. So I want to show you 3 of the decks that I use the most. The first one is called the Wisdom of the Oracle. This was the first deck I actually purchased. It's actually the most powerful deck that I find. I find that like you get a really accurate read from this deck. The next one is the Kipper cards. These actually are very helpful and you can get a really accurate read from this as well. And the most interesting deck that I purchased and that I thought is directly connected to source is Path of the Soul Destiny card. So this one is actually very good as well. So these 3 are my favorite and I use them in every single reading. So the next question is, are energy readings evil? Okay, so they're not evil. They're not evil for me. You can make them evil. And I've heard people say, oh, they're demonic. They're, you're talking to spirits or whatever, but they're not, right? It's only like that if you make it like that. It's like if you watch horror movies or if you talk about, I don't know, murders or stuff like that, right? Then you're inviting that into your life. But if you're connected to source and if you're connected to a higher power, then you're not letting that energy into your life. So that's not something I deal with. That's not something that I let into my energy field or my auric field. So everything is from a high vibration. So my next question is, well, that someone else asked me, is how did I learn to do energy readings? So I was in law school and I remember that I was watching like a YouTube video, and the YouTube video was a reader who was also doing energy readings. And the way she did her readings was very elaborate. She had like her table and it was a full spread. I don't remember her name, but she had like maybe over 150 cards on the table and was doing an energy reading. And I thought, okay, like her energy reading is so intense. It's so amazing. Like I need to kind of do it like that because she was getting the most accurate reads. So then I started training and kind of doing it like that. I started putting I think my spreads have about 100 to 250 cards on the table, right, to answer a question. So I kind of learned from that. So I mimicked the way that she was reading, and then I basically learned to read like that as well. Okay, the next question is, why can't you do energy readings for free? You can't do energy readings for free because it's an energy exchange, right? It's like going to therapy. It's like, you have to pay your therapist, right? Because you're getting free advice. So for me to actually do an energy reading and go into a higher realm and to extract the information and then relay it to a third party who is the client or you, it's work, right? It's not like it's just coming naturally to me. It's like you literally have to prepare yourself. You have to like make sure that it's safe. You have to make sure that, I don't know, that like, you know, that it's doing it in a proper way and that everything is, it's like, you can't just like mess around with it and make it up as you go. There's a strategic way in which to like contact spirits and like to go about entering the spirit world. You can't just be like, hi, like, what's the answer? Like, it doesn't work like that. Okay, so what does the energy reading feel like for me as somebody who's doing the reading? As somebody who's doing the reading, it's pretty intense. Like normally it's okay. Like I have people who, I don't know, like it's a pretty simple, easy read, but then there's some instances where it's pretty traumatic. Like for example, if there's sexual abuse, or if there's a sexual assault, or if there's somebody who's died who's very angry, so I can contact spirits who, past relatives who have passed, and sometimes those spirits are very angry. So it's kind of overwhelming in that sense, because it's like, you know, you're talking to a spirit, you're inviting them into your auric field and into your realm, and they're angry. So they can choose to stay and kind of like fuck up your life, or they can just leave. So if something like that happens, I just end the connection right away. I just don't even talk to them. I just continue, like, I just say like to the client, you know what, your relative doesn't want to talk to you. Like we can't continue like contacting them. It's like, you can't, what's the word? You can't like bring up the dead, right? You can't like bother them too much. Like if they want to talk, they're going to talk, right? If they don't want to talk, they don't want to talk. And especially if they're angry like that, you don't want to talk, right? You don't want to talk to them. Okay, the next question is ego. Is doing an energy reading coming from a place of ego? So for me, not really. The point of being a reader is that you get to see things before humanity does. So for me, I saw the pandemic happen, I think 6 months before it actually happened. The war in Palestine, I saw that maybe a year before it happened. So you see things before humanity does. I don't really have an ego because I've done so much work on killing the ego or transcending the ego that it doesn't come across in a reading, right? There's no judgment. It's like playing telephone. It's like I'm talking to spirit, spirit's talking to me, and then I'm relaying the information to you. So it's kind of like that. There's no ego involved. It's just like a messenger, right? So I'm the messenger. The next question is, how can that energy reading help you? So energy readings help people because it is a doorway, right? It shows you a pathway. Because if you're going through your everyday life, right? You're going to work, you're going to school, you're going home to your family, whatever. It's just like a mundane life, right? You're just going through your actions, just going through the day. But if you have abilities or you're able to tune into the spirit world, there's doors that are available to you that you cannot see, but I can see them. So in the energy reading, I point you to those doors, and it's up to you whether or not you're going to walk through those doors, right? It basically, it's showing you a hidden door. And that's the thing, right? That's why people are like, okay, well, my energy reading, it didn't come true. It didn't work. It didn't work because you didn't do any work. Like that's the number one reason why energy readings don't come true, is because you took no action. And that's the reality of it. And people are like, well, you know, what was I supposed to do? The reading gives you all the tools. It tells you exactly what to do. It tells you how to do it. It's just that people don't do it. So if you don't do it, how do you expect your life to change? It's not going to change, right? So, and that's why like with energy readings, like you have to make sure you're ready for it. You have to make sure you're ready for the advice and that you're ready to take action. Because if you're not going to take action, then you've just wasted your time and you've wasted your money. So yeah, that's everything I want to tell you about energy readings. Do you have any questions? You could type it in the box below. If you want to book a reading, you can DM me. Do I think that energy readings are Good. Yeah, I think they're good. I think that they can give people comfort and the advice that they're looking for. Do I think that it is a tool that I will continue to practice and a craft that I will continue to work with? Yeah, absolutely. I think I will. I like doing it. For me, it's fun. I think it helps people. And the number one thing is that it lets people connect to loved ones who've passed, right? So that's always important because sometimes you need that guidance to people who've passed in your life and you need to talk to them and they can tell you things, right? So definitely I think that it is something I will continue doing, and I hope to do a reading for you guys. Do you do them in person? If you're in Toronto, I do them in person. I did a one in person, I think it was on Thursday. So yeah, I do them in person. I try not to because doing them in person lets somebody else's energy into your auric field. So I don't like people's energy into my auric field. Like you'll see in my posts, I don't post, like I used to have so many friends and be so social, but I've really limited my circle because people's auric field will influence you. And I just couldn't have that. Like I was just going down a really wrong path, and I had to limit who I was around and I limit the energy in my auric field. So if you go into someone's house, right, like you don't know what their life is like. You don't know what's going on in their life, their energy, their spouse, their partners, or their friends. And that's just the type of energy that I can't have into my life because like I'm working for big things here. Like I just can't afford any mistakes. I can't afford any energy that's going to throw me off. So sometimes I'll do them in person, sometimes I won't. It depends, but I do it for person. Yes, my aura and my energy is very powerful. Exactly. If your aura and your energy is very powerful, like you cannot have people around you who's going to fuck with that because it just completely throws you off. Like the things that I've accomplished in my life, like I've literally had to work for, like to become a lawyer in 2 countries, like it's ridiculous, right? Like the amount of work and the amount, even when I was doing that, the amount of derailment that I had or energy attacks, it was just insane. Like I didn't even think I was going to make it. So that's what I'm saying. You have to be really careful who you let into your life and who you let into your auric field. So that's why most of my readings are on videos, which the videos are absolutely, they work perfectly fine. People love the videos because you can replay it, you can take notes, you can watch it over and over again. So it works really well. Trust me, I know what you mean. I can't. Yeah, you can't. Even if you're trying to like find a partner or a spouse, you have to be very careful, like who you're talking to and their energy, right? You've got to like filter people. It's the only thing to do. Do you guys have any more questions about energy readings or anything about manifestation or spirituality? I'm like out of breath. It's like so hot in here. Let me know if you have any other questions. So I could show you one of the decks. So I like I was telling you, this was the first deck. So you could see the cards are like, I've used them so much. You can see the cards are like withering away, like the edges of it. But so I know what you mean to be around just anyone. Yeah, so you know, right? Like you can't just be around anyone. It's hard and it does get lonely at times, but it's probably the best way to elevate your life. If you saw my posts, it's like, I went to Fashion Week. I went to Fashion Week in Toronto, and I'll give you an example. That's a real life example. There was so many people. I was sick at that time. I had an infection, like a really bad like stomach infection. And I was like, I don't know if I should go, but that's like a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I remember people were like, don't go. Like you shouldn't go. Just everything under the sun. Like people will tell you. And it's just crazy because it's like, you could have people come in and that will really affect your progress in life, right? In your energy. So again, be careful who you're around and make sure that you are reading energy correctly and properly, and try to really filter and think about who's around me and are they contributing to my life, and how can I use this to my benefit, or is this something that I need to get rid of? Those are thoughts that are constantly in my mind. I evaluate everybody who's in my life. Even on my Instagram, I delete people. I delete followers. If I look at their profile and if I don't like what you're talking about, or if I don't like your energy, I delete you. I don't care. Like, I don't care. If you have some bad energy, I don't want you in my profile. I don't want you in my audience. I'll delete people because that's not going to take me where I want. So it's not about the follower count. It's about what's right for you and what feels good for you. So make sure you keep that in mind. What else do I want to talk to you about? Do you have any other questions about energy readings or channeling or shadow work? Because we talked about that, the ego, or about what does a reading encompass? Let me know if you have any questions about that. Do you do energy readings to the chosen ones? I have a lot of powers. I do, yes. I do energy readings for everybody who wants to book an energy reading. The only time I will not do an energy reading, you can feel it, right? When a client books, you can feel their energy. So if their energy is a bit off, or they're, I don't know, like a little bit crazy, like I'll know and I'll be like, no, I can't do it. But mostly I've never said that to anyone yet. Like I said, I've done almost every single one that is booked. So yeah, I do energy readings for other people who have powers. And it's interesting because when you do energy readings for people who have powers or abilities, a lot of information comes through for them, because it's like a free flowing channel, right? It's from spirit to me to the other person. So I guess the spirit like knows that, like, they're going to understand everything. So it's not as hard to break down information to that person. It's easier, right? So it's just a free flowing channel to the person who's booked a reading. Peace and love. Do you teach people how to protect their energy? So I don't. I haven't really talked about it a lot. I think if you guys notice, I only started talking on Instagram like recently, just because I have a lot of free time this month. But do I teach people how to protect their energy? No, because the thing that I found is that people don't really listen, right? You can tell people stuff about spirituality and the spirit world, and they don't take it seriously because they don't know how important it is. So I just don't waste my time. If I do teach something like that, I would teach it like in a course or something, but generally I don't really speak about it. How to protect energy. Your energy and your aura is too powerful. Yeah, it is. And I mean, you have to protect yourself. I can tell you some of the ways that I protect myself is, like I was telling you before, I just don't associate with a lot of people. I also do a lot of like inner work, a lot of shadow work. So you're very teachable. Yeah. I've seen your profile before. You are teachable and you seem to be very in tune. So yeah, you definitely have to protect your energy because it can go very bad if you don't. I'm just looking over the questions here. So what else do you want to know about an energy reading, or even, I don't know, anything else you want to ask? Any other spiritual questions before we go? So yeah, I remember I want to talk about this. So someone was like, it's evil. Even if you're religious, and I've had someone say this, he was a lawyer and he was, I think, Catholic. And he's like, this is real, this is evil. You're teaching people how to, you're teaching them self-sovereignty. You're teaching them how to listen to themselves. He's like, well, the Bible doesn't teach that. And I'm like, the Bible was created by man. So really, what are you talking about here? Like, it's a man-made institution, the church and the Bible, right? That's what it is. It's a man-made construct. So people should be able to listen to themselves and to get a sense of sovereignty from themselves, right? You don't need to listen or look to religion. You can if that's, what you want to do, but in most cases, you don't need to. The answers are all within yourself. So for someone to say it's evil because it goes against religion, like, that's your own limiting belief, right? That's your own bias and that's your own judgment. And you can go around, listen to religion all you want, because look what's happening in the world, right? Where's religion getting you? It's leading to conflict. It's leading to chaos. It's leading to corruption. So how well is that working for you, right? That's what I think people need to think about. Because a lot of people are blinded and biased by religion, but they're two separate things, right? You can be religious. I mean, I'm religious. I have a whole tattoo on my back that's a cross with a verse from the Bible. Great. But I'm also self-sovereign, meaning that I can think for myself, right? And I can make decisions by myself without looking to religion. Yeah, religion's great because you can, get advice and pray and whatever. But when I need to make decisions or find the answer within, I'm not looking and flipping through the pages of the Bible for the answer. I'm getting the answers myself. How to protect my aura, because my ether energy is always so powerful that people that know what they're doing, they try to take my energy. Yeah, that's the one thing that people always try to do. They try to take your energy. You just need to cut it off. You need to cut them off. You need to set really firm boundaries. As soon as you see people trying to take your energy or trying to get into your auric field, like a lot of people do that to me, right? They come into my energy field or my auric field because they want to get information, right? And that's like using people. So you need to set firm boundaries. You need to cut them off. If you don't want to cut them off, because maybe sometimes they're family or maybe sometimes they're close friends, I would set very firm boundaries. Like maybe you don't talk to them about certain like spiritual aspects. Maybe you refer them like a book, or maybe you show them a YouTube video. Like that's what I do. Because I think like if you start cutting everybody off, I mean randoms. If they're randoms, I cut them off. If they're random people who are trying to siphon my energy, I cut them off. When you're walking, yeah, I don't make eye contact. I don't make eye contact. Because as soon as you make eye contact, that lets them know that you're aware of them, and that, I just don't even bother. It's not worth it, right? Like, why are you going to waste your time and your energy doing that? Like, I don't even entertain it. And like, yeah, just don't even entertain it. If you see a random person walking by and you know that they are trying to siphon your energy, or you could feel something from them, just shut it down. You need to protect your auric field, right? So you just kind of keep your energy to yourself. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't extend your energy to them by making eye contact or by like looking at them or waving at them. Like that's engaging them, right? That's inviting their energy into your auric field. So don't even do that. Just keep yourself focused on what you're doing. Keep walking, keep your eyes to yourself, and don't even let their energy into your auric field. Last question. What's your last question? So yeah, you see that all the time. Like, even after COVID, right? Like people are crazy, even on the streets. Like Toronto's bad. Like the crime has increased, the mental illness has increased, and there's crazy people. So, and people are getting, there's all these random attacks that's happening. And people ask me all the time, they're like, oh, what's going on with these random attacks? It's mentally ill people, right? Who have lost connection. Because the eyes are connected to the soul. Yes, exactly. The eyes are connected to the soul. So they've lost connection to spirit and to themselves, and they're lashing out. So if you don't engage with them, because the moment you engage, it invites them into your auric field, right? And then that's how you kind of get attacked, or you get like, I don't know, hurt or whatever. So just don't engage. You have to keep your energy to yourself. Yes, the eyes are connected to the soul. So I wouldn't even look at them. If you're crazy, like, be crazy. Like, don't look at me. So yeah, you're doing the right thing. Just keep working at it. It takes practice. Like everything about spirituality, people say, oh, I'm going to do it overnight. No, there's a concept called integration, and integration doesn't happen overnight. Integration of spiritual concepts happens over time, and it happens with practice. It happens with experience, and it happens, when your body is ready to fully integrate ideas and to integrate spiritual concepts. So take your time with everything. I said, like, wouldn't rush, just practice doing what you're doing. And I think you're doing a good job. I think everybody's doing a good job. So let me know if you have any other questions before we leave. I know it's Sunday. I don't want to keep anyone too long. I'm going to try to do a live every Sunday at 2 o'clock. And every Sunday we'll talk about different concepts as much as we can. And if you have any questions, you can ask your questions as well. So let me know if you have any other questions. If you want to book a reading, like I said, you can DM me, or you can email alignedtocreate@gmail.com. How much you charge in person? Yes, I'm from Toronto. How much you charge for every hour of your time? So all the readings are the same price, whether it's in person or whether it's on video. It's $200. There's no time limit. It's not by the hour. It's as many questions as you want to ask, and it just goes forever how long it goes, and until all your questions are answered. Like, I remember when I used to go to readers and they'd be like, oh, it's 1 hour or it's 40 minutes. And then it's like your answer, sorry, thinking on the screen, it's like your questions aren't even answered. So I don't do that. Like this isn't something that can be rushed or can be just, you know, let me just get the money real quick and leave. Like, that's not what it's about. It's about basically taking the time with the client to understand their questions and to get the answers and the guidance that they're looking for, right? So there's no time limit. Like, sometimes people ask like 13 questions and the videos are like 3 hours long for their reading, you know? Like, it's just how long it takes. It's not like it's burdensome. It's not that it's, you know, it's just what it is. Because I don't want to limit time. Like, why are we limiting time and limiting spirit? Would you be able to help me how I can fix my Dantian? What's Dantian? What does that mean? Can you write what that means? So yeah, I mean, I damaged it a lot from LSD in the past. So you need to do inner work, right? If you use, so I used to drink a lot. Well, I used to party and drink in my 20s. And like, you know, when you transition your life from that kind of lifestyle into a more high vibrational lifestyle, you need to repair your DNA structure. So how can you repair your DNA structure? You have to repair your DNA structure by doing more high vibrational things. So for example, being in nature, eating more organic foods, maybe, you know, not watching violence on television or the news. You need to elevate your frequency and your vibration to more high vibrational things. It's the energy centers, the main ones. You mean like the chakra system? Like you damage all of that? You need to do like I said, you need to increase your vibration and do energy work around each chakra. So you can do affirmations in each chakra to try to rewire it. It takes time. So look into that. You can look online. You can look on YouTube. You can look, there's articles about it as well. No. What do you mean? So yeah, if you need to do that kind of work, just look online and you can find the answers. But like I said, I would try to maintain a more high vibrational lifestyle in order to fix damage and repair the cellular DNA. So try to look into something like that to see how you can do it. I would work specifically. If you're not talking about the chakras, can you type what you're talking about? Because if you're talking about the chakras, those are all the energy centers, right? They're flowing down your body. So I would work on each one, which is going to take some time. So you've got to do chakra work in each one. But yeah, I think it's doable. I mean, I've done it. There's lots of people who've done it, and try to avoid going to plant medicine. I tell this to everybody, like, you do not need plant medicine. I see so many people and so many spiritual readers and, you know, or spiritual coaches or whatever. And they're like, you know, I've done plant medicine or ayahuasca. It's like, you don't need to do that. You don't need to go to external sources like narcotics or drugs or ayahuasca or plant medicine or frog medicine or whatever to get answers. All the answers are within you. I've never had to do that in my spiritual awakening. I've never had to go to ayahuasca because I need an answer or accelerate my awakening. You don't need to do that. I don't know why these people do that. My energy is very powerful, but it's damaged. And I do semen retention, I eat organic, and I'm vegan. Yeah, that's perfect. Semen retention is actually really important as well. Like, that's going to elevate you. I do a lot of self-development and growing, but certain things not everybody knows about, like this. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people know about it, but they don't talk about it. Like, as a man, semen retention is 100% important, because I can tell you right now, there's a lot of women who are just looking to get by, right? They see a man who has, you know, money, a job, a career, or, you know, a big following on Instagram, or, you know, they're well known in the community, and they siphon that man's energy. So you have to be careful, you know, who you're talking to as a man, because, you know, there's a lot of narrative going around that, you know, men are the toxic ones, but in reality, women are just the same. So semen retention is a good thing to practice. But yeah, I think you're doing a good job. I think you should just keep doing what you're doing, and it's going to work out for you. Like I said, it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. So try to make sure that you do that, and yeah, it'll work out for you. So if there's any more questions, let me know. If not, we will end the live. So let's see. I'm just checking to see if there's any other questions. So I think that's it. Thank you for showing up. Enjoy your Sunday, and I will see you next week Sunday. Bye.